Welcome back to the DHS podcast. I'm your host, Jack Richards, joined by my co-host,
Ben Murphy.
And today we're joined by two very special guests. They are both senior captains on the varsity dance team who just reached a new milestone by finishing 6th at Nationals for Jazz, which is the highest the Dexter dance team has ever placed. On the left is Ruby Boynton, and on the right is Lauren Hart. Thanks so much, guys, for coming on.
Yes,
Thanks
of
for
course.
having us.
Yeah, absolutely. So speaking of Nationals, what was that experience like? And was it different from previous years?
I mean, it was definitely different in the sense that we were more successful, and that immediately, I think, boosts everyone's mood. And I think we went in knowing exactly, like, that we had done what we wanted to do that season, like, in terms of work ethic and staying focused. And our team was, like, very together, and it ended up paying off.
Yeah, I feel like throughout the whole season we kind of worked to have a really good bond. So going into nationals, it was like a positive experience. Because I think we always, especially the captains, we always tell our team, like, to us it doesn't matter what our placings are going to be. It just matters how we feel with the experience. And I feel like we really met that goal this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it, like, different between years how good the competition is? Like, are some years, like, some teams really good, but then they graduate?
Is it like in high school how, like, each year they kind of lose people and new people come on, it gets different? Like, how's the competition go?
Yeah, I mean, schools' reputations definitely stay around in terms of, like, the name. Like, oh, they're known as a good school, but it switches off. Like, there have been schools or teams that were really good, and then suddenly, like, they lose, like, all their seniors, and then something happens. But also, the competition changes. It used to be split, like, just small, medium, large.
Which is, like, dependent on how many people are in each of your dances.
And then they just now split it this year between D1 and D2, which is the size of your school. Yeah. And then there was only small and large. So they took out medium.
So is small and large like divisions? Like for basketball, we're D1 because we have this right amount of people to be D1. So it's large like D1 or small like D1.
So large and small is like if we're going to have, I think the cutoff was 14.
It's like how many people you have
on the floor, like doing your dance.
Oh, so it doesn't matter by school.
Yeah, yeah.
D1
and
and D2 is by school.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I got you.
Okay.
Because it's like what dance is going to have like a dance with 17 people is very different than a dance that has like 9 people in it. And you just can't compare them.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. So with all that going on, and honestly, I don't know much about dance. So what really goes into the preparation for dancing or for nationals? Like how many months before do you start practicing the dances, and like what really goes into it?
So we start our choreography for all the dances in August, and then we're doing like practices and preparing for it from that point up until when we leave, like late January. Mm-hmm. So during
how many months is that? August, September, October, December, January. 6 months.
You start 6 months before practicing?
Yeah. Well, like the season starts in like April, May, and then we have like it's kind of like a preseason almost. Like we learn routine that we compete at camp, which is like a really like not super competitive.
It's like low stress. Yeah.
And then we go to camp and we learn dances for like football games and all that stuff, and then we come back and we learn nationals choreography.
And it's like in August we do stuff to prepare a lot for football season, and then start our comp season. So like probably September, October, November is all like a mix of those. So we're not super focused on nationals until like end of football or like more so just like the beginning of November when we have our first regional. Mm-hmm. That's when we really get focused on that, because otherwise we're doing like sidelines or halftime performances, stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Too.
Interesting. So who actually creates the choreography for the dances, and like how do you create like a dance?
Okay. You can hire choreographers, and a lot of different teams will do that. We have done that in the past, but this was actually the first year we had our coaches do all 3 routines. They choreographed them, which was actually really cool, and they did a really good job with it. But honestly, I don't know all that they do. It's a lot of watching other routines and figuring out what looks good. And then
or like coming in with an idea and like teaching it to us and then tweaking it from there. Like you can't really just make up a dance fully in your head. I feel like a lot of it is seeing how it matches with like our actual team.
Right.
Going from there.
Are all dances on like the same like counts? Like is it like 5, 6, 7, 8? Like
so
how do you do that?
Yeah, what is
tempos
that like?
can be like different just depending on the song. Mm-hmm. And then normally for dance you either count in 8s or you count in 6s.
6 is way less common.
Yeah.
All of ours were in 8 this year.
8s is really common.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Just a personal question. What songs did you guys do for nationals?
Ooh, okay.
Oh, that's a good question.
So for jazz, we did Eleanor Rigby
by the Beatles.
Great song. Great song.
And then the other two, it's all like mixes. So game day is like
It was
it's
called like we
weird.
called it like what, Country Girl? Because
well,
it's a
it's
whole
like
bunch of
there are
country
3
songs.
parts to it.
Yeah.
So the first is fight song, and then our sideline was to, oh my gosh, what's it called?
Jump is it jump around? That might be
It's
wrong.
like jump
Ruby, I'm
on
sorry,
it,
but that
jump
was
on
bad.
it.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah, I was like, that was
that
not a
song,
great
and then-
representation.
Yeah, I was
of the
like,
song.
And
I
okay.
was like, yeah. Okay, yeah, I got
And
it.
Yeah,
then it
jump
was
on
like our performance routine, which is the third part of game day, was country themed. So that was a mix
Oh, yeah.
of different like country songs.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And then Palm. Oh, you can talk about Palm.
Yeah, so Palm, each year Palm has a theme, and that's like
Mm-hmm.
how our music's picked out for that. So this year our theme was like taking care of business.
Oh, yeah.
So at the
Okay.
beginning it
Due?
had like, oh yeah, rent is due.
Same thing.
Oh my gosh, it's not taking great. Anyway, yeah, it was rent is due. So it's like, what songs were in it? I don't even know the names now.
There was working for the weekend. The one's like
Oh,
10%
yeah.
luck, 20% skill.
Wait, and you guys have like a DJ that like makes
Yeah.
these?
Yes, there's a DJ. His name is Jay.
He does our
alright.
game day routine and our Palm dance. And like in our Palm,
Fun fact.
he's like, he has himself like talking in it.
Yeah,
like in the
he,
beginning.
records himself.
Oh wow.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Wow.
So with a lot of sports, like I know Jack, I don't know if you do, but I personally have a lot of superstitions. Do you guys have any superstitions when it comes to like pre-dance or like right before you go out there?
I have a lucky penny that I've kept in my bag for the past
Really?
3 years.
Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, I think we found it at like the
Oh,
first
gosh, I don't even
competition
remember.
sophomore year when we won Palm.
Oh,
that
yeah.
was the day that I found that, so it's been in my dance bag ever since. I really hope it's lucky. Otherwise, I've just been carrying that around for
Yeah.
3 years.
We gotta treat it like it's lucky.
Yeah.
But we have like almost this thing that all of us will do, especially leading up to national season. It's just like the typical like knock on wood, because it's like you're talking about like moving on in rounds, because you know there's prelims and semis and finals, and you don't know if you're going to advance. Like while you're
Yeah.
talking, you're like, you know, if we dance on Sunday, and you have to like everyone is sitting around in a
Yeah.
circle talking about it,
Yeah.
like knocking on.
Yeah,
wood.
right.
I would say that's the main one.
I'm pretty sure someone brought a wooden hanger with them around at nationals to knock
So
on
we could-
Really?
because they needed wood at some point. to
Or
knock on
you
something.
knock on someone's head if you
Yeah.
don't.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if like yeah. I don't know if we do that in
I
basketball.
wanted to say something so bad.
No.
I realized that when I said that.
Jack, do you have any superstitions?
I actually don't. I just kind of like show up usually.
I have to play a song.
You have to play a certain song.
Yeah.
What song?
Gone Girl by Ian Dior. I know.
Oh wait, I might know that.
That my dad and I used to play it before every game, so I play it now.
Yeah.
We had a girl on our team last year that
She had lucky socks.
Don't tell me they wouldn't
I
get washed.
so agree with that.
she
though.
didn't wash them.
Dude,
Oh
all
my
right, you guys are hating on that.
gosh.
There's nothing wrong with that. I had a lucky shirt my entire AU. Didn't wash it for a weekend, and then I'd go home wash it. Then I'd wear it the full next weekend. Wouldn't wash it.
Sophomore year, I didn't wash our uniforms before going to nationals. I told myself I put too much
Ew.
work into it.
Oh my
So
god.
that's not as
I
much a
couldn't clean
superstition
off all
as
the
much
hard
as
work.
just.
That's a superstition. I was like, I was gonna wash away
Did
the
you do it
hard
again?
work. I washed them this time,
Oh.
Okay.
Well.
but we still
maybe.
did good. so
Yeah,
it's
All
right.
right, so maybe it is. Maybe it is. That's on me.
Okay, so when did you guys actually start dancing? Like, how did you get into it?
I started dancing when I was 2.5, and I did
Wow.
like little kid ballet classes.
Oh wow. So did your mom just like sign you up? You're like,
Yeah.
yeah, you're going.
Yeah, just she signed me up, and then it kind of stuck. So
I started in like second grade, I think. I went to a different studio than her, but just started with like acro because my sister and my neighbor did acro. I was like, oh, that's
What is
so cool.
acro?
it's like gymnastics and
yeah.
dance if they had a baby. Like
Yeah.
Gymnastics and
So-
dance. Had a
It's
baby.
just like doing things like
To explain it to
front
a viewer,
walkovers, back
what do you do?
walkovers. It's a
Like
lot of
front
flexibility
flips,
stuff
stuff
and like
okay.
going upside down.
Oh.
yeah,
While
I
Alright.
only
dancing?
did somersaults and cartwheels though.
yeah.
That
Oh,
wasn't
wow.
good.
You do that while dancing.
Mhm.
Well, no.
Well, like in the
Not,
middle.
not the way I did it. I just did somersaults and cartwheels. But yeah, it's like a mix of like
Did you like
Dancing,
see it anywhere? Or
yeah.
did like your dad or something just sign you up?
dude, I don't think my dad signed me up. It was probably my mom. But yeah, no, I just remember like my neighbor was like really into dance and it was so close. Like the studio was literally like right outside our neighborhood.
Oh,
So
Oh,
I was
yeah, I
like,
gotcha.
sign me up.
interesting. Yeah.
That's a bit different from me, but I respect it. So what are your most memorable performances or dance experiences? Like, what's a big moment that you always kind of think of whenever someone talks? Like, hey, if you had to choose one, what would it be?
Probably sophomore year, making it to jazz finals for the first time, just because the day before, like Friday for nationals, it goes prelims, and then Saturday's semifinals, and Sunday's always finals. And I think just because we thought Saturday was gonna be our last time ever dancing together as a team, and then so when we got like another chance to on Sunday that year, it was like a really big moment. And just knowing, especially that year, our brackets were really hard. Like that was before they separated into D1, D2, so it's like we were with some big name teams.
Yeah.
I feel like that was a really big moment.
And it was the fact that like everyone was gonna be watching that. Like when there are other, like, especially because we're D2 now, like we alternate with the D1 bracket, so it's like technically those are bigger.
How does that
schools.
work?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just like the dances are scheduled, so it's like the
Oh,
dance with D2
right,
goes
right,
to
right.
So it's like, but it's like we knew that like we were the dance that people were like watching.
Oh, yeah.
And so there were
Yeah.
a lot more people there, and it was really cool. And
What
really
year was this?
memorable.
This was this year?
Sophomore
sophomore
year.
Sophomore
year.
year.
Yeah.
Awesome.
This year was also really cool too, because especially we were the last ones to perform from like
Our bracket.
all of the people
Yeah.
in our
Oh, wow.
division.
Who do
So
you
that's
think
crazy.
like inspired like you guys and like helped you like the most, like from all like the people that have been like on the team with you guys?
I feel like a lot of my inspiration, especially dancing wise, comes from Clara.
Yeah, I would agree
Like
with that.
she is very much like, she was an amazing teammate, amazing captain. She's an amazing dancer. Like I still look up to her.
Yeah, Claire's a big one. And then honestly, like our coaches,
Yeah.
like
Gotcha.
they care so much and they put in so much effort for us, and it means a lot. And like, I don't know, they've motivated us a lot.
That's awesome. So I kind of have a personal question that I've been thinking about. So you mentioned like jazz and country and different music. What is your guys' personal favorite like music to dance to?
Ooh.
That's a good question.
Okay, it's not our team's strongest suit, but I really like dancing to hip hop just because it's a lot lower stress, especially if it's just like you're doing it at a game and like there are no skills or anything that you have to worry about. I think that's fun, but we do not compete it because it's not for us.
Gotcha.
I think probably jazz, just because, I mean, I get what Ruby is saying about hip hop. Like, there's no tech in it, but I also think in jazz I like the tech in it because I think it makes it more challenging, and it's like sometimes more fun. It's only like when you're competing it becomes stressful.
Yeah.
But I feel like learning combos and stuff is always fun with like jazz and contemporary stuff.
Yeah. What advice would you give to younger girls that are thinking about making it up to the DHS dance team and dancing in high school?
No, that's a lot of work, but I think it's worth it because of like the team, and it's such like a all in this together atmosphere. It's not about like everyone individually, and like you're just surrounded by such a great group of girls that I think makes it worth it.
Yeah, it's very much about the team. Like, obviously, like individual success, like you can have that, but it is not the main focus. Like, there are going to be things you don't want to do and you're going to be struggling. You're going to hate it, but you have to do it for the person next to you. So just like knowing that, and it's like so much more goes into it than being a good dancer, as important as that is. It's like they want you to be a good teammate and, you know, be coachable and work hard and motivate others.
Mm-hmm. So what do you two like most about dance? Like, what's the one thing that you're like, man, I'm really glad this happens to dance, or I really enjoy doing this?
I can go first.
Okay.
I really like seeing personal growth. Like, I like that it's like it actually like keeps me like active, and it gives me like some like outlet to like express myself, which sounds like really artsy. But
No, I get what you mean though.
I really just like seeing like, oh, I used to like suck and now I can do all this stuff. Like, I really like, especially like when I came back from an injury, it was almost like faster when I came back, and it was so exciting to like watch myself like get better again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm taking more so the artsy route, like
Go
that you
for
just
it.
kind of mocked. But I think there's a lot of ways you can express your emotions in it. And like, if you're mad, then you do a dance, and like you could show that, or like, I don't. That kind of sounds weird too.
That's okay.
I don't know.
That's okay.
Like, it's just an outlet, I think, to like relieve stress and everything too. Like, there's
Also,
so much.
the people.
The people too, yeah.
Do you
I think
think
it's a lot of
like
the people.
that like kind of expression stuff is what sets dance apart from like other like maybe like sports that you would have like potentially done?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it's the only, well, not maybe not the only sport, but like type of sport, like gymnastics, dance, like figure skating, I guess. I think that's sport. Like
Yeah.
you have to make it.
Yes.
Like you have to be.
It's
Think
in,
it is a
in
sport.
the Olympics.
I think it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
like sport,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's like you have to make it look easy when you're doing it, and like you
Oh,
have to
right.
like
Oh my gosh, that's the worst.
show like a story. I think that's really
Yeah.
different because it's not just like being athletic. Like it's also storytelling.
And I
Interesting.
think that's why a lot of people underestimate and like a lot of people like don't consider a sport because they're like it's an art, which like I get because it is very different, but then people don't understand that it's like actually very physically demanding too. Like it's not just about expressing yourself.
Is that partially what like the judges are looking for? Like,
Yeah.
do they look for like the story part as
Oh,
opposed
yeah.
to just
Yeah.
like
So-
the actual dance technique?
For judging for dance, there's like different categories, and one of them is showmanship, which is literally like your stage presence and like if
Oh,
you have a
I didn't know that.
storytelling.
I didn't either.
Like it's not just like you give them one score. It's like broken down in what?
There's like
Showmanship,
technique,
tech,
execution of movement, execution of skills,
Choreography.
formations, choreography.
overall effect.
Yeah,
Like it's
it's a
whole bunch
lot.
of broken down categories.
So
Wow.
you can get graded on the choreography you do. Like if
Yeah.
is that off like judges like have like kind of a book that they go by? Is it off personal preference?
Personal preference.
Really?
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Wow.
It's
It's
not
so
like
subjective.
yeah, because
so
like I think
subjective.
gymnastics has like this is worth this many points. This is worth like it's dance. It's like what you think.
So if you have like a judge that just doesn't like certain movements and you do that one, you think he's gonna take like a point off or
They
take?
can.
They
Really?
can, but
That's interesting.
yeah,
So much
for-
of it is if they like the dance or
Okay.
not.
Yeah.
Like obviously there are stuff like it's undeniable like oh they were not in their spot like oh
Yeah.
that turn formation like or that turn sequence hit like some of that like you can't really deny.
Yeah.
But there are a lot where it's like if they don't like what you're trying to do or like something just doesn't
Yeah.
feel right to them then yeah that can affect your
which
score.
is why I feel like our coaches what they always tell us is you have to be undeniably good because of so much of it is personal preference.
Right.
Like you just have to be like
Yeah.
anyone watching would be like, yeah, that's good. It might not have been my favorite thing ever, but it's like worth
Yeah.
moving on.
Right. I
Okay.
feel like that would be an easy like excuse to have. Like, oh, the judge just didn't like us,
Yeah.
so we didn't
Yep.
get scored. I feel like there's not many sports that are opinion based.
Yeah, like
you know
with
what I mean?
basketball, if you just not shooting good or you're not playing well, it's like oh they're not playing well. But like with like if you really wanted to, you'd be like, yeah, that was the judge's fault.
Yeah,
We-
right.
we
like
did
you
good
can't
for the
you can't
judge.
deny like the ball went in the hoop.
you
but
can't
like,
deny if
It's
you
so
miss.
You can-
confusing
Yeah, yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
You're like maybe that wasn't a good run, but like maybe they just really hated it. Like you don't.
Or there's
Yeah.
the opposite where you don't think it was a good run, but like the judges, it's their
That's
first time
also
seeing that
happened.
dance and they loved it.
Yeah.
Like,
What is the hardest part about dance that you think might get overlooked by people that don't know a lot about it?
I feel like, well, it might be a weird answer. I think how much time and everything that we put into it because people see us do like the same dance over and over again. So it's like, oh yeah, you must have like figured that out like a few months ago and now you're just like kind of still doing it versus we're always changing parts of it and we're always practicing and trying to make it better.
Yeah, I think also almost kind of adding on to that, a lot of people have asked us like at our games, they're like, oh, do you do like the same dance at every game? Like, no, we do in fact do more than one dance. We have like repeated stuff, but like
Yeah.
we learn a lot of different teams. I think like it's easy to think like a lot of it is brain power. I think people don't realize like, yes, like it is athleticism in terms of like the jumps and the flips and the turns, but like a lot of it is like, do you know like your cleans? Like it
Or, like
gets
what
very
count do you
specific.
do this on? Or it's like, is it an and count? Is it a whole count?
Or it's like, where is your head supposed to be?
are
It gets
your
so
feet
specific.
turned in or turned out?
Yeah.
Is your
And then it's
head
like-
corner or side?
And then there's spacing. Like you have to know exactly where you're supposed to
Yeah.
stand. It's like I'm a step in from the quarter
Yeah.
line on the Marley.
We
It's
have a
so-
rope and cones that we set up because it like mimics the floors or the lines on the floor.
Oh, interesting.
So,
Yeah.
and we put like cones on every whatever so many feet it is.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, yeah, are you on a half? Are you on a line? Are you a step inside the line? Are you on a quarter?
It's
And
so
like you have to
tedious.
memorize that.
Yeah, I did back when I did band a couple years back. We did marching band, and I would agree. A lot of the people were like, "Oh, like I could do exactly what you do." I'm like, "Well, we got to know. Like, are we doing high step? Are we doing low step? Are we inside the pivot? Are we outside the pivot?" And I think when it comes to dance, I don't know as much, but I can kind of relate to the fact that like you guys put a lot of effort into like fine tuning the details and knowing where to stand. I think that's very overlooked. I would agree. So for you guys, what's a pregame playlist, go-to pregame song? Do you have a favorite artist, or does it switch every game?
Okay. We have a few
Couple.
favorite songs.
Yeah.
I feel like especially this year, Hotline Bling.
Hotline
has
Bling
been
was a
played
big one.
Throwback.
Every
great
single
one.
That is a great one.
Time.
Great one.
And then some ones that popped up during nationals. Kiss Me Through the Phone.
Oh, yes.
And then Colors of the Wind.
by
From Pocahontas.
Pocahontas.
Oh,
I
I've
do
not
know that one.
seen
Our juniors
Pocahontas.
really love
I
that
do know
song.
that one.
Oh, all right.
I do as well.
Yeah. Plus the
I
rest of
know
us.
about
But
Pocahontas
American
songs.
Pie.
American Pie. is
Oh,
on
yeah,
there.
that's a great one.
Dunked On by Froggy Fresh. That's kind of like
Classic.
a throwback.
For
Another-
those of you that don't know, Dunked On by Froggy Fresh,
listen to it
look
right
it
now.
up on YouTube.
Right now. It's so good.
Do you know that one, Ben?
Yeah, but I don't think it's that good. I don't like it.
I feel like it's
He
I feel
just
like it's like
got
iconic.
dunked on.
though.
Yeah, it is. It is iconic. It's like Shell Shocked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
Shell
God,
Shocked.
Shell Shocked. Yeah, right.
Shell Shocked
I do
doesn't
not
really
like
listen
Shell
to
that.
Shocked
that.
is so
Oh,
bad,
so
but it's
good.
so
Also
iconic.
Dirt on My
Yeah,
Boots.
I
Dirt on My
suppose.
Boots. That's another
Yeah.
one. Fake ID.
Mhm.
Same as oh my gosh.
Country
Another
Road.
throwback.
Yeah.
Skechers.
Skechers.
Oh wow.
Word for word.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's wow. That's wow.
We got
Sorry,
some good
these
songs.
are not songs I would listen to. But
Yeah,
you know what?
it's not
If
songs
this
that I
gives-
would
if this gives
expect.
you hype, then
Yeah,
I respect
right.
it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I know you guys like do dance for a lot of the time, but in the free time that you have, what are you guys up to?
Scrolling on TikTok.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of pondering.
Just like sitting there and thinking.
Yeah, okay. I would like to sit on
What's
the
your
floor.
go-to thought?
What's your
Oh.
go-to thought?
I don't even know. It's all over the place. It's literally anything to do with life. Like I'm supposed to be doing homework and it's like it's not actually free time. I should be being productive. But I just sit on the couch and I stare at the wall and I think
You stare at the
Wow.
for
wall.
a solid 20, 30 minutes.
Really
Oh
good.
gosh.
Yeah, I like. Yeah, wow.
This is straying away from pondering and going towards procrastination.
Yeah,
Or
I
is it-
feel
No,
like
what are you
no.
it
thinking
feels like
here?
they go
It's
They go hand in
hand.
hand.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It can be both.
Yeah.
What was the most recent thing you pondered about?
Oh my gosh. I don't even know.
If you don't have an answer,
Oh my
it's
gosh,
okay.
it was probably my new Amazon
What
order.
did you order?
I ordered castor oil and creatine.
Oh my god.
Oh, creatine.
Gains.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm really excited. It should be coming
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Let me know how the castor oil goes.
Yeah,
I
yeah. Please
will.
tell us about it. So we kind of end, not as much end, but last question we kind of have is go-to every time. You go to a gas station. You know, you've been on a long trip, little road trip going on with some friends.
Mm-hmm.
You can get one drink and you can get one snack. What's your go-to?
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you can go first.
Probably a Coke because it's a classic.
Just a regular
And then-
Coke.
Just a regular Coke. And then bold Chex Mix.
Wow. Okay.
Bold?
Like in the gray bag.
Yeah.
Oh, is that like the super peppery one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
no,
That one's good. It's
that
like
one's
the
solid. That one's solid.
Worcestershire
The
sauce.
Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire. Yeah,
Worcestershire.
that one.
Yeah.
I like to get Propel and
What flavor?
Okay, I like a lot of the flavors, but probably like strawberry kiwi.
Okay.
That's a solid one to go to.
That's a face judgment.
That's like my least favorite flavor. But solid.
I haven't drank
Okay,
No
and
judgment,
then,
no
like,
judgment.
Sour candy like Trolleys or like Sour Patch watermelons.
Those things are fire.
I'm a Sour Patch strawberry kind of guy.
Really?
I like them.
All right,
They're so good.
all right.
I get you a bag of those.
Bug juice. It's my go-to.
Bug juice?
Bug
Bug
juice.
juice.
Dude, no.
Throwback.
I love
When I
bug
was younger,
juice.
I actually thought there were bugs in it.
No.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know-
there is.
You want to know a crazy fact? Never had bug juice.
No.
You're
Never
missing
had it.
out.
It's a
then.
staple.
My mom would let me have it.
It's
She
I
got-
guarantee there's
It's not nutritious at all.
It's
I'm
definitely
Thanks,
not.
Mom. No, it's like
Okay.
It's
from what it
definitely
seems,
not.
it's
Yeah,
just
no.
syrup, dude.
There's-
a little bit of carbonation,
Yeah.
maybe some water.
Food coloring.
Yeah. It's like
Crazy.
not
Die.
clear at all.
Oh,
Like
you
a-
Red 40's getting banned?
no.
What?
Dude, the hot Cheeto girls are like
They're
cooked.
done, dude.
That's terrible. Well, yeah, I think that's all we got for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. Shout out Mr. Dubé. He is our advisor.
Dubé.
We love Mr. Dubé on this podcast. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you in the next one.
Toodles.
Toodles.
Toodaloo.
Toodles.